that's one of my objectives. I would love to be able to do that.
Hi, I'm Annie Hurwitz. I'm a senior here, and one problem I sort of see is that I'll hear about these amazing Mount Holyoke alum, and I'm just in awe of them, including yours. And then, you know, we'll go to the Career Development Center, and there's often kind of a gap between where if we want a job or internship or just advice, it's often either maybe they don't know about them, or it's just that contact hasn't been made. So sort of what suggestions or ideas do you have for sort of bridging that gap? Because a graduating senior, it's hard to make that gap yourself, your connection yourself.
Well, I talked to the alumni board about this, and I have the same experience that you have, that I meet these amazing women from around the world, and no matter where I go, if there's a Mount Holyoke graduate, then I'm welcomed into her home or into the community. And so I wondered whether there was more that we could do in terms of creating relationships, partnerships that would allow students to go into hospitals to work with physicians and be provided with internships, or go into legal offices. And we could do these mini internships during spring break or J-term that would take advantage of the expertise of these brilliant women that we haven't tapped enough, and we really haven't called upon them enough, and they're so eager. If you ask someone to give, or to, not necessarily financially, but to share their experience, I haven't met anyone who is a Mount Holyoke grad who would say, no, I'm not interested in helping out. So we do need to do a lot more in that regard, and I'm looking forward to hearing your ideas on how we can move that forward.
Okay. You mentioned about funding and about fundraising to help students in lower-income families be able to afford. I'm wondering about what you have to say about students who are on work-study, who are promised that they can make a certain amount of money, and then they come here and there aren't jobs available for them to take to fulfill that, and so there's a gap between what their family plan was paying and what they actually have to pay for that, and what you can do to address that problem.
Yeah, I have to admit I don't know enough about the current structure here to know how I would remedy it. I know that that's a familiar problem, that at the University of Hartford we have more need than we can address. And so at the last minute sometimes we'll get extra work-study money because somebody else has relinquished it. But in the meantime, the students fall through the cracks and have to leave because they can't afford to stay. It's an enormous problem, and I'm deeply committed to providing the resources necessary to make sure that no one leaves here because of financial need. But that's a challenge that all institutions are facing. So I will look into it, but I just don't know enough about the problem to say how I would address it.
Hi, I'm Hannah Howard, and I'm a sophomore. And I know you were talking earlier about student athletes. And I'm actually a club sport athlete. And I was wondering what you were going to do as president to address some of the challenges that club sport athletes face. We aren't allowed to use the trainer, for instance. We don't get PE credit. We're given last priority for scheduling over varsity teams, that kind of thing. So I'm just wondering your thoughts on that.
I'm going to put you off for a second because I need to get a cough drop. I'm coming down with a bit of a cold, and then I'll answer your question. I'm sorry, I'm not crying. I'm just... this is the second time I've heard this tonight. Concerns about club sports. And because I'm passionate about sports, I'm looking forward to working on these kinds of problems. I don't know... Again, I know about Division I sports, but I need to find out more about Division III athletics and the kinds of constraints that are put in place by the NCAA in terms of funding. But I guess the important thing is that I'm willing to work with you, and I would like to have a series of open forums so that everybody can share their concerns, so that we can address them together. But I asked Jen to keep reminding me so that we can set up those forums as soon as possible.
Hi. My name is Casey, and I'm a community college graduate, so I just want to say, and there's a bunch of us here in the audience, so I just want to say as a community college graduate, you're a true inspiration to those of us that have come here from that sort of situation, so thanks. But my question is, we are on the last year of a grant from the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation, which has funded a wonderful program in partnership with Holyoke Community College to bring students to the campus to hold some joint classes. So it's a leadership experience for them and encourages them to pursue higher education at elite institutions such as Mount Holyoke. But it's a little unclear what's going to happen because it's the last year of the grant. So is that something that you'll be committed to looking for alternate sources of funding for that program? And if so, do you have any ideas of where we might look?
Yes, I'm very committed to that. And on Sunday, I was at Ralph Hexter's house, the president of Hampshire, for a Commonwealth Opera performance. And I met the former director of the Five College Consortium, who was working with Greenfield Community College and Holyoke Community College to do some advising for community college students to help them gain access to the Five College system. I also, when I was over at the Thirsty Mind earlier today, happened to be sitting down next to Preston and a member of the faculty from Holyoke Community College. And I told him, they showed me their syllabus, and I said, I'm going to be in your class this semester. I'm going to stop by and talk to them about how we can seek funding to continue this program. It's an extraordinary program, and of course I'm committed to that. My husband is a community college professor, and he'll be moving to campus with me, but he's going to be going back to the community college in northeastern Connecticut to teach twice a week, because this is such an integral part of our lives, this notion of providing access, that we couldn't possibly forget our commitment to it.
Hi. Congratulations. I'm so excited
Thank you.
to join our school. One of the things that is, I think, a really important thing for every new member of a community, you and the new student body who will be making it here next year as first years, is orientation. And I was curious if there were ways or programs or things that you've been thinking of to better help orient you to our campus and for the new incoming class to just, again, promote community inclusiveness and diversity awareness and just kind of hit us all off to a great year and a great future.
I have plenty of ideas, but again, I don't know enough about what's in place to say whether they would be replicating what's already done. I'm hoping that you all will orient me, that you'll help me get to know the community. So I really think the best way for me to understand the culture is to get to know the faculty, students, staff, alumni, and I'm very much looking forward to that. So, and again, if you have ideas, let me know, and we can see what we can do.
I know President Creighton signed on to the Amethyst Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you are interested in or going to follow?
I have 19-year-old twins, and so of course I'm interested in it. Yeah, I mean, I think I would have signed it as well. I mean, our president at University of Hartford signed off on it. I talk about these issues a lot when I teach philosophy of law, and yes, I support that initiative.